China's brutal aggression has forced 4 nations to take military preparation action against the communist nation. Author and political expert Gordon Chang highlighted that China's international aggression is causing countries to band together. During an interview with Express.co.uk, Mr. Chang insisted members of Quad, Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, are banding together against China due to its actions in the South China Sea region. While an outright military conflict between Australia and China remains unlikely, according to Mr. Chang, he insisted more cooperation was likely between these countries in case the situation escalated. Mr. Chang said, Australia is one of the 4 members of the Quad. That is the nations comprised of the United States, Australia, Japan and India. These 4 nations are acting in closer coordination. They are operationalizing their understandings and part of that is military. China's spat with Australia right now could in some way end up being a military conflict. Mr. Chang admitted that it was unlikely that China and Australia would declare war against one another. He explained, I think Australia would be drawn into something rather than being the target of Chinese military action. This is because of the great distances involved. All of these countries are now understanding the notion of common defense because China is assaulting all of their societies. Mr. Chang also warned that if Beijing does not stop its aggressive military actions against Taiwan and India, things could escalate. This escalation could take the form of military conflict or skirmishes. He said, anything can cause tensions to escalate between China and any of its neighbors or any nation in the world. China right now is engaging in increasingly provocative and dangerous behavior. This is going to draw in everybody in all probability. This is largely because countries are concerned and they are starting to act in concert to protect themselves.
If you suffer from back pain, whether it's flare-ups, pulls, strains, or have anything from herniated discs.
Meanwhile, Australia ready in face of unprecedented military aggression. Australia is prepared to stand strong in the face of unprecedented military aggression from China, a senior politician has said. Senator Eric Abetz was speaking at a time of spiking tensions between Canberra and Beijing, with Prime Minister Scott Morrison last week unveiled plans to upgrade 4 northern military bases and expand war games with the United States at a cost of more than £400 million, 747 Australian dollars. In apparent retaliation, China suspended all activity related to a key economic agreement between the 2 countries, with China's Foreign Ministry Wang Wenbin claiming Australia borne full responsibility. Nevertheless, Mr. Abetz, who is the chairman of the Australian Senate's Foreign Affairs, Defence and Trade Legislation Committee, told Express.co.uk his country would not be intimidated. He said, rampant foreign interference, economic coercion and the destabilization of the Indo-Pacific are not the workings of Canberra. We must never forget that the trade tensions and the diplomatic freeze Australia finds itself in are the faults of one country and one country only. Referring to China's relentless military expansion in the region, Mr. Abetz added, Xi Jinping and the CCP must be judged on their actions and not their words. In 2015, Xi said to President Obama that China would not militarize the South China Sea, only to promptly increase efforts to militarize the South China Sea. He also highlighted China's increasingly belligerent attitude towards Taiwan, the autonomous region which Beijing nevertheless regards as part of its territory. Mr. Abetz said, Australia is accused of harboring a Cold War mentality, and the CCP places the onus on Australia to repair the relationship. Yet military flyovers across Taiwan are at record levels, and trade sanctions are used to demonstrate to other reliant trading nations that the consequences are severe if you don't toe Beijing's line. In the face of such unprecedented military aggression, revanchist ambition and foreign interference spearheaded by Xi. Nations must protect their interests and sovereignty, and Australia is doing just that. Speaking last Wednesday, Mr. Morrison said an airstrip in the Northern Territory will be lengthened to support larger aircraft, firing ranges overhauled and new training facilities set up for defense personnel and U.S. Marines. He did not mention China by name, but said, "Our objective is a free and open Indo-Pacific, to ensure a peaceful region, one that, at the same time, Australia is in a position to always protect its interests." Michael Goldman, charged affairs at the U.S. Embassy in Canberra, said, "The United States and Australia have been deeply engaged in defense cooperation for over half a century.